I'm Elmo Rawling. As was mentioned, I work for the Wisconsin Geological and Natural History Survey. And I'm going to go first because we study the things that happened and had to happen before the things that Nick studies could happen. Currently, I'm working on several projects. So we recently finished a new map of the glacial geology of Oneida County. That's not depicted up here. And then I'm also moving into Washira County to do some more glacial mapping there. So we get money from the United States Geological Survey to help support the mapping, and we match it with our salaries and with our resources to produce maps of the state of Wisconsin, like I said. And then I'm also working on a smaller project where we're monitoring bluff erosion. So if you've been paying attention to the news of the Great Lakes, lake levels were down historic lows a few years ago. They're back up to above historic averages, so they're high again, and they're causing some erosion in Racine County and a little bit in Ozaukee County, to the point in Racine County where houses have had to be removed from the bluff edge again. And so what we more recently have access to, not everywhere for the state of Wisconsin, is something called LIDAR DEM, so digital elevation models made from something called LIDAR, which is light detection and range. So at some point, they flew an airplane over Oneida, Vilas, Oneida, and Lincoln County, and they shot a laser at the ground. And it's just like a fish finder. The laser goes down, and then it bounces back up, and they catch the signal, and they can calculate the distance. And so they do this. They fly many transects. They collect many thousands, if not millions, of data points, and they're able to produce then a geologic map or a topographic map of the surface if there were no trees. And that's what this map is up here. So we can see many features that we couldn't see with traditional topographic maps in the heavily forested landscape that we have here in the upper Midwest. And so that's been a real boon to sort of my subdiscipline, geomorphology, or the study of the landscape.
As Susan said, my name is Nick Balster. I've been at the Department of Soil Science at UW-Madison for almost 14 years now. And I thought what I would do is tell you a little bit about the department. You may not know that there's even a soils department. Oftentimes I'll say, I'm in the Department of Soil Science to a taxi cab driver, and they'll say, oh, so what do you do in social science? So no, soil science. So the soils department at UW-Madison claim to fame. It's the first department of soil science in the country, probably the world. The department currently houses 15 faculty members, and you would be hard-pressed to find any of the non-extension faculty folks that are working in traditional ag. It's moved to the environment. We have folks that are working on everything from climate change to soil erosion to urban stormwater management, microbial sciences. So very diverse community in our department, and I would say really embodies the Wisconsin idea as our folks interface with a lot of people around the state. I'm sort of an odd duck in the department in that I wear two different hats, so to speak, in my research areas. One is my disciplinary work that I look at plants and soils, and I'm interested in the interactions. I'm interested in the dialogue that goes on between plants and soils, whether the plant be a tree or a prairie plant or a sedge up in Alaska. That communication's very interesting to me. So that's one hat. The other hat that I wear is in education. I do research in the scholarship of teaching and learning. I'm very fascinated by how people learn, what makes good learning happen, what gets in the way of good learning, what interests students, what motivates them to work hard and to learn new things.
Why are there so many lakes here?
That is a legacy of this stagnation of ice and permafrost, probably. So the lobes of ice reach their maximum position and stagnate and probably melt a little bit before another advance to, say, this position here. And areas where it's flat, like in here or in here, there wasn't buried ice. Areas where there was buried ice, which later melted but had sediments deposited over it, are these areas of extensive collapse. And so in a zone like this, if you have a surface like this and the groundwater cuts through it, that's where the lakes are. And in some places, probably the bigger lakes, there would have been ice sort of extending above the landscape as the ice is sitting here and streams are running off of it, and then big pieces of ice standing up high, thousands of feet high. And the North Woods would have looked like that for probably a period of something like 5,000 years before permafrost finally melted and everything collapsed if there was ice under it. And this is a remarkably dense concentration of lakes globally.
What's the deal with the Antigo silt loam? Why is it so special?
Oh, man, now you had it. Now you're going to need a hook to get me off the stage. Here's the Antigo silt loam seal. There's the song. Antigo, a soil to know. Antigo silt loam is a terrific, terrific soil. It's found in the Antigo Flats. If you're from that area of the country, it's our state soil. The deal with the Antigo silt loam is it's one of our most productive soils in the state of Wisconsin. It's a soil that grows a variety of different crops, all the way from agronomic crops to tree crops. So it's a very, very important soil. What's your state animal? Where's the badger live? In the ground, right. What's his state tree? Sugar maple. Where's it grow? In the ground. What's state bird? Robin. Where's it sit? The tree that grows in the ground. Right. But I'll ask students, they'll rattle all those off. What's your state mineral? Red granite. Very good. They'll rattle all those off, and then I'll go, what's your state soil? And it's crickets. I don't hear anything. So even though soil is so important for all these different organisms. So that's the deal with the Antigo silt loam. It's our official state soil. It's recognized in the state capital. The anniversary of its inauguration, I can't remember, but it was great because the kids from the Antigo grade school came to the Capitol, and they sat up in the rotunda, if you've ever been to the Capitol in Madison, and sang the Antigo silt loam. It was one of the highlights of my career. A beautiful, beautiful thing. But yeah, if you want a shirt, let me know.
Thank you very much. Everybody give them a big round of applause.
Thank you.